Hello students, welcome back to our YouTube channel Easy Patashala. So today in this video we are going to cover the chapter The Sermon at Benares under 10 minutes. So this video is one of the chapter of First Flight. So we have all the other chapters also posted under 10 minutes in our YouTube channel. We are having a separate series for it, which is English Boost Your Score series. Even if you're getting 65% in your board examination, you can boost up to 95% in your CBSE board examinations if you follow this playlist. So this video is all is under 10 minutes and it covers the quick revision and summary, and also it consists all the keywords that you can write to impress the evaluator while attempting your questions in the examination. And you also have some most expected extract based questions from this chapter. So as literature comes from entire 40 marks in your board examinations, many of the students can score easily in short answers and long answer question, but they tend to lose their marks in extract based questions. So those questions are also covered in this. So if you're sitting 10 minutes, then entire chapter would be winded up. So let's go into the chapter. So the Sermon at Benares, it was written by Betty Lewis. It is a chapter in your CBSE 10th class 10th English curriculum which highlights the teachings of Lord Buddha. The story traces the life of Siddhartha Gautama, who later became known as Buddha. So born into a royal family, he led a sheltered life until he encountered many human sufferings in the form of an old man, a sick person, and a dead body. These experiences deeply impacted him, prompting him to, renounce his luxurious life and seek the enlightenment. This chapter focuses on one of the Buddha's most famous sermons delivered at the Benares, which is modern day called as Varanasi. Here he comforts a grieving woman, Kissa Gautami, who had lost her son, through the story of her seeking a mustard seed from a household untouched by death. Buddha conveys the universal truth of mortality and the inevitability of their sufferings. Right? This was a small gist of what is there in this chapter. So we are going to read all the summary and the key events which would help you to write down your answers. So let's go into summary and key events. The first event is growing up as a prince. So once upon a time in North India, there was a prince named Siddhartha Gautama who later became Buddha. He lived in a royal family and had a very happy childhood. So next is discovering the life changes. So at the age of 12, Siddhartha was sent to study, got married, and lived a royal life for 10 years. One day he saw sickness, old age, death, and a monk who taught him about life's difficulties. This made Siddhartha curious to find the deeper answers for all these challenges. Next is the turning point which was there in Buddha's life, realizing that life involves suffering. Siddhartha decided to leave his royal life to seek wisdom. After finding the enlightenment, he shared his insights in a city called as Benares, all the insights that he got from this life sufferings and various instances that he had encountered. Then a mother's pain and wisdom. One story he shared was about Kissa Gautami, a mother who lost her son. Buddha helped her to understand that grief would not bring him back, but though through a simple task she realized the inevitability of life's cycle that has to be done by everyone. Then wisdom for a happy life. Buddha believed that feeling sad and grieving doesn't help. So knowing and accepting that fact, natural course of life brings us to happiness always. The sermon at Benares showed how understanding life's realities and going along with it can free us from unnecessary pain and suffering that may cause in our life. So these were the key instances and events that you can use to write and frame up your answers in your examination. So let's go into the keywords which you can use to impress the evaluator while writing your answers. So sacred, which means embodying the laws or doctrines of a religion. The next is scriptures, which means the sacred writings of a religion. Befitted, which means be appropriate for or suiting for something. Chanced upon, which means came across by a chance. Then alms, which means money or food given to poor people or charity. Enlightenment, which means a state of high spiritual knowledge, enlightening himself, for which he left his royal life and came into normal life to gain some wisdom. Then wandered, which means to move without a fixed course of time. Then vowed, which means solemnly promised to do a specific thing. He vowed you something. Then preached, which means delivered a religious address to an ensemble group of people, preaching. Then sermon, which means a talk on religious or moral subject. Then the most commonly and most expected extract based questions that can come from this chapter are the extract is: the Buddha preached his first sermon at the city of Benares, the most holy of the dipping places on the river Ganga. The sermon has been preserved and is given here. It reflects the Buddha's wisdom about one inscrutable kind of suffering. So questions that can be asked from this extract are: name the holiest of the dipping places on the river Ganga where the Buddha preached his first sermon. The answer would be Benares. Then, what does the Buddha's first sermon reflect? Buddha's wisdom about one inscrutable kind of suffering. It would reflect it. Then, what did Gautama do after getting on enlightenment? Then, after getting enlightenment, he began to teach and share his new understandings with the common people. How was he known then? As he started preaching, he was known as Buddha, meaning the awakened or the enlightened one with a lot of knowledge and getting close to the life's realities. So the next extract: Kissa Gautami became weary and hopeless and sat down at the wayside watching the lights of the city as they flickered up and were extinguished again. At last the darkness of the night reigned everywhere. The questions can be asked are: why do you think Kissa Gautami became weary and hopeless? So it was because she could not find a house where no one had died. Then how many sons did Kissa Gautami have? She had only one. Then what did she notice while sitting at the wayside? She noticed that flickering lights of the city. What message did she get from flickering and extinguishing lights of the city? Their lives flicker up and are extinguished at the same time. So this chapter generally deals with how Buddha evolved and enlightened himself with the life's reality and started preaching to people and brought them close and told that grieving would not help. Instead, we have to accept the facts and life realities and move on, which will give us less sadness and sorrows in our life. So this chapter, the sermon at Benares, it concludes that death and sufferings are inevitable parts of our life, and true peace comes from accepting this universal truth and letting go of the attachments. So I hope you have covered all the things, important things of this chapter, which covers key events and summary of this chapter. Then you have the keywords which you can write to impress the evaluator. Next, coming on to the extract based questions, please pause the video and take in all the keywords that you can write to modify your answers and try to use them in your answers and then frame sentences and then see the difference on your own, right? So thanks for watching. Please like, share and subscribe to our YouTube channel Easy Patashala. It gives us a lot of motivation to make more videos. So all the best for your boards. You're gonna rock it. All the playlist and boost your score series and complete strategies of how to score 95 plus in your board examinations have already been uploaded in our YouTube channel. So thanks for watching. All the best for your boards.